Hi, how you doing? I'm Chris
Ed.
and we want to welcome you to Chris and Ed Guide to Being Ron. And again, thank you for spending your time with us. We want to learn from you, and hopefully we get you some feedback on how we feel about this topics that we speak about. Today's topic is going to be the cemetery business, right? A business, one of the oldest business in the world next to prostitution. Business cemeteries is a very old business, very old business, and we're going to be talking about in the United States, right? We're going to focus in the United States and how it's changing and if it's dying or not. Some people are saying that the funeral business is dying. Other people are saying no, it's actually making a lot of money. It's a billions of dollars revenue every year business. So I don't know how can a business that is making so much money is dying, but we're going to talk about it, right? So what do you think? How is the cemetery business doing?
They are struggling though. They do make a lot of money. As you
Yeah,
said, I think it's like $6 billion net income every year. But the problem is that every year the people are going more on the cremation.
yeah. And again, just to give you a feedback, and please leave us your comments because we learning in this process. We're in the learning process as well. But we always want to remind you that we're not experts.
Of course.
We just giving us our opinion on what we see, what we hear, what we see. We always give our view from New York, right? Because we're New Yorkers. We live in New York City, so
Of course, it's no. We're not really advising. It's
yeah,
more
yeah.
like,
And of course, always New York
especially
City.
something so sensitive.
So very sensitive, but I always and about all the videos that we do, New York City is different than most of the world. So I take may sound a little bit different because I take it from what we see, from what we experience. And New York City is a beast on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's just a reality, right?
Yes,
New York
yes, yes.
City is New York City. That's
So
why it's like one of the most important cities in the world, right?
yes.
And in this business, in the cemetery business, one thing I can tell you right away, we don't. I never seen a new cemetery built.
Mm-hmm.
So where are the dead people going? Okay, because we see buildings up all the time. Like you drive to a street, then you come back, there's a new building.
Of course.
But I never seen one. Have you ever seen a new cemetery?
Because that's not really the business. The business is not, like
Building cemeteries?
no, like when you buy like your last place to rest, they don't really sell it to you.
You're renting it.
You are renting
You're
it,
renting it.
right? I mean, when you sign the papers, if that says that they are selling it to you and they have all these legal terms, and you ended up with the idea that you are going to own it, but the reality is that depends on the cemetery.
Yeah.
You are renting it for 30 years to 100 years. And what is the difference? Because you will never actually see 30 years or 50 years in the papers. But they will put it in a very kind of high way that they are going to, you buy it, but then maybe like in 30 years, they will ask you to renew your intention to keep the place for your loved one. So they actually will email it to you or try to contact you. And if you do not, like let's say for example in 50 years, they will try to like contact you and you are not available or the family is not available or nobody cares because they kind of know who is visiting it. They kind of, like when there is somebody that pretty much have lost all the relatives, you can kind of tell, right? So they will contact them, and then if nobody is available to reclaim it, they will just pretty much move the rest and sell it to somebody else.
So okay, so just to go back a little bit, okay, just to
Okay.
go back a little bit. So we have the cemetery business is private, number one, right? The federal do own cemeteries.
Yeah.
There's a lot of federal cemeteries that is run by the federal, mainly for military, for the military, right? They actually are run by the government, but the government don't really run cemeteries. So you have cemeteries have always been mama and papa funeral homes.
No,
Funeral home.
no. The original was from
because,
the church.
You know, let's not get
Right.
confused because you have funeral homes and you have cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
They two different businesses. They're two different businesses.
But
right?
they usually own them together.
Some of them do, but that's when they have the big business because most of the funeral homes are mom and papa shops.
No, really. No.
Yeah, they are small businesses.
They make you think that, but in reality, no.
So
Like so for example, the big one is SCI, right?
SCI is the biggest one.
They own like at least 25% of the cemetery.
They own a lot of stuff.
But you do not go to like a cemetery or to a funeral home and it says SCI. That does not happen that because they kept the name like for example.
So look.
Funeraria del Ángel. Have you heard about this one?
No, but
listen to it. The Funeraria del Ángel is for the Spanish people, right? And they are all over the place.
Yeah.
But they are actually owned by SCI.
Yes, I mean
A lot of Sinais.
SCI is controls the market pretty much.
No, owns them. Owns the. I'm saying. Like, have you seen the big one, please? Here,
they don't.
On Queens Boulevard by 76, right?
So for you to own an industry, you have to be at least more than 50% owner of everything.
I'm saying is that they are the big company in this thing, right?
Yeah.
But they never have actually changed anything to their names. Because people don't want to go to.
Of course, so there's a lot of businesses that own businesses that don't change the name. They just behind the layers they are the bottom line owners.
So the one here in Queens Boulevard 76, there is no like a huge.
Well, Queens is half of fucking Queens is a cemetery.
Yeah, but no here 76, right?
Yeah.
The huge building there is like a funeral home. They sell you the stones. Everything that you can, you can cremate there. That is SCI.
Yeah, SCI owns.
And it doesn't say nowhere that,
SCI,
but it is.
SCI owns a lot because just like again, I think look, let's go from the beginning.
No, but
funeral homes.
Dignity memorials. Have you heard about them or no?
Funeral homes,
yeah.
right? Funeral is a business.
Yes.
And it's attached to the cemetery business, which is a different business.
Yes.
Okay, now, funeral homes are usually the ones that help you to get to the cemetery. They help you out. Now, funeral homes is literally, when you talk about human history, they're new. They're not being that long, believe it or not. Most people, way before people used to cremate, people just go in the backyard, dig a hole, put them in there, and that was the end of it.
No, really.
I mean,
no. You're talking about like 100 years ago.
When did we start with the funerals here? Just a couple hundred years ago.
Yes, but because of the church.
No.
The church owns most of the cemeteries.
We didn't start the funeral homes business because of the church.
Not the funeral homes, the cemeteries.
Yes, well, because
the cemeteries were owned by the church. And then the government got a few of them by themselves, and then it went private.
Yes, because the church tradition is that when the priest would die, they would bury it right in the church. That was the tradition.
In Manhattan, you still have a lot of church-owned cemeteries.
Yes. Now, if you go, but that's in the United States. That's
Everywhere the church was the big one of
in the United
cemetery.
States. In the United States, because in most churches in Europe and America, the burial for priests and nuns were in the basements. When that they don't, when you look at cathedrals, when you
those
look
are
at
cemeteries.
churches, yeah, I get it, but they were not like the was new like United States style.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like a
Like a land, and it's a cemetery.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Now, the cemetery business came to be in the United States after Lincoln. When they did the parade with Lincoln, that they took him to the whole country, and everybody was like, "Look, it looks like he's just sleeping," and all this stuff came up, which and that's how it became to a business.
Okay. Like the cemeteries, like when you hear like an American, for example, when they go to like South America or Europe, they actually visit the cemeteries because it's so foreigner for them to. It's a completely different experience. They look completely different than the cemeteries that you have.
When you travel around the world, you'll be surprised. I mean, how they do things. I live in Japan, and they have, you see little tiny houses in the streets, and there's somebody there.
Well, but because the Japanese, they don't really bury people. They do only cremation.
They do cremation, yeah. But the little tiny house means that's a place that they go to show their respect and.
So they do have cemeteries, but it's for
very few.
No. It's for the ashes.
Yeah, for the ashes.
They don't really bury. It's
and also,
it's
against the culture, but also they don't have that much land. They don't have that much. That's another thing that we have to keep in mind. That's why when you go to a lot of countries like South America mainly, we got buildings. Very few cemeteries are actually in line. They're actually up, to for the space. But anyway, let's not get off track of this. So we understand that they're both different businesses. They go hand in hand, but they actually separate.
But they are owned by the same people.
But they're owned by the same people. At the end of the day, they're owned by the same people. What we're talking about is it's a business that in many ways is changing. It's been changing. And now we can see that the new future of burials, because one of the things he got really ridiculous in the price. Funeral homes and the whole process of dying is something that nobody ever thinks about or nobody wants to think about. Only very few people, and I say very few because people do plan for the burial. There's people that save money. They buy the insurance. They even buy the space and they pay for it and all that stuff. There's people that really take their death serious, and there's people that don't do nothing. Because they figure, hey, that when I die, it'll be somebody else's problem.
Not my issue.
It's not my problem.
But I would say people should think about saving or trying to plan something.
I think that nowadays the way we are with the new societies and the new way of us doing business, you should be very open on what your wishes are. You should be telling your kids, hey, this is what I want. Okay, and if this something specifically that you want, then you need to start saving your freaking money so you don't give somebody a headache. Because right now in the United States, I think the average, not New York City, everything in New York City, California is more expensive no matter what.
I'm not even talking about the person that it might be close to, to the end of their lives, but the relatives. So something terrible is that cemeteries, and this is going to sound bad, but that's reality.
They take advantage.
They take advantage of your pain. I mean that's just what it is. So you go there and like caskets, for example, never buy them on the funeral home. That is really badly advised. You have to go and buy somewhere else. Because if you buy it somewhere else, it's going to be maybe 2,000, maybe 1,500. If you buy it on the funeral home, probably it's going to be 4,000. So if they don't stick you with one that is like 7. And
that is important because that is part of the process, right? That is part of
of life.
of life, and it's not just. It's also part of the process that
But
the
it's a horrible moment of crazily pain.
and we're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. So it is a very it's a point where most people are very weak, and you know how it's like when you go to a restaurant and you're really 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 hungry, and the waiter knows this. It says, "I'm just giving you food." Like, oh, this guy's gonna eat everything. Here, just take it, just take it. And it's the funeral homes. I mean, we laughing, but it's the same way.
It's a
They know
terrible
you
moment.
go into a moment, and they try to sell you the more expensive, the more fancy, the stuff that you don't really need. But that's how they make their money.
Of course,
That's how they make their money.
never get like a package.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That,
know,
that's how they make their
never
money.
get a package like like package A or B or C, but tell them, I want a specific thing, like
Yeah.
like
And the reason why they could keep the price, I want to mention, because you mentioned this earlier, because it's a monopoly.
in a
Technically,
big part.
the funeral homes and the cemetery business is a monopoly because only a few companies. Because at the end, you go to a little place and you see the family there, they own it, but they're actually working for somebody else. And that's the bottom line. So that's why the average just a plain simple burial is like almost $10,000.
Okay.
You know?
That's what I was talking about the ACI. Not that I have anything against them. They have actually they have a really good service. But if you will never even think that it's them,
Yeah.
because you go to a place and it says Sinai, for example, because they keep that name in a lot of the places. It says Dignity Memorial.
Yeah.
And
No,
all
no.
of them belong to the same
Yeah.
ACI.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the whole world. I mean, I don't want to get off topic, but the whole world
Is going there.
is run by only a few companies. I mean, when you think about it, look at the banking system, right? In the United States, there's so many banks, but when you actually look at who owns
BlackRock.
well, who really owns all these banks? It's only two or three or four people. Like literally, there's only three or four companies that
Companies.
own all these banks.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's globalization. What some people say, but in the funeral homes, they're still making money. It's not a dime.
So how much you think, like you were talking about prices? What do you expect? What will be the price that you expect to pay in New York?
In New York, I think a very very like almost just go to the motions. It's gonna run to you between 7 to 12,000. If you want to have like a little nice one, where they actually you have the view for 8 hours. They do the whole thing with the limo and all that stuff. It's probably about 12, 15,000. And if you want to have the real fancy one, well, where they come in, they all with the suit, they carry you, and they do this whole thing, and they bring, this. They have like the casket is a beautiful one where they have the smelling and this whole thing preparation and stuff. You can go up to $25,000. I mean, some funerals. I heard some funerals where it costs more than $50,000. They got the horses and the carriage, and they do the streets, and they take. I mean, it's just like a wedding.
And you can go to what? To what price?
Man, listen, you can, like I tell you, man, you can go up to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just like a wedding. I mean, you can just go to City Hall and sign, and what you pay is your token, your fare,
But
or you can have a wedding that costs you $500,000.
because 40% of people are still getting, buried,
Yeah, yeah.
and then 60% of Americans are just taking the cremation.
A lot of people are doing the cremation. Well, one for the economic reasons, and number two is and I want to be honest with you, the new generations are very very environmental, friendly, and they know. So when you, I'm not saying this to discourage anybody from doing it, because
Of course, no.
this
It's personal.
it's your belief and you can do whatever you want. But the truth of the matter is that when you bury somebody through the process of embodiment, right? The chemical waste that is generated is insane. I mean, it's really bad for the environment, because I'm not an expert. I don't want to go to. I don't want to say something wrong, but they basically draining the body, and then they fill you up with these chemicals that eventually will leak out of you and go into the environment. And these are very strong chemicals. You know, they're very strong chemicals, and that's the reality. I mean, that's what's going to happen. You know, so it's not. So a lot of people do it economically reasons. A lot of people do it because technically, for instance, I'm just going to give you like a quick example. If you have someone that you love and care, but let's say that person lives in Seattle and you live in New Jersey, how many times you going to go to Seattle to visit the person? Maybe at the beginning you might go, you know, once, twice a year for the birthdays, you know, for something a special days, you go and visit them, and but then after 2, 3 years, you know, who's going there? You know what I mean? So that also has a lot to do with it, because now we're living in a time that most people don't stay where they are born, don't stay with their relatives. They migrate, they're traveling, they work, education, whatever reason, but a lot of people don't stay in the same spot. And the other reason people are not taking that approach is because environmental reasons, you know?
Also, even the cemeteries are no, I would say at least 20 years, they are changing. They don't even call themselves cemeteries, but resting parks.
Yeah.
And the resting parks are like in a cemetery, you have like the stones standing up, right?
Yeah.
But the resting park
It's nothing. It's on the floor.
The resting parks are like holding in the, you know, by the ground, and that make it way better, honestly. Like if you go to like a classic cemetery in America, it looks kind of like Halloween scary, let's call it.
Yeah, because of the stones.
You have the stones, the whole environment, the grass grows in different ways. You can tell who's being taken care of.
Yeah, and also
In the resting park, everything is level, so they just mowing like very very easily.
And not just that, but I go to cemeteries where the stones are already almost falling because they sink into the dirt. So every time it rains, every time it snows, everything, of course, the dirt gives up, and then little by little they keep sinking and sinking. And you know, and some of the stones are very big and very heavy, so they can actually, if you're visiting somebody, you're being there, you're putting pressure on it. It might bring it down. And a lot of stones are when there's a heavy storm. The first thing that a lot of people go is go to cemetery because a lot of stones flip. You know, you don't think they would, but they do because the dirt gives up, so their own weight makes them fall.
That's what I'm saying. It's easy for the cemeteries to tell
who's coming,
who is coming or who is not coming, and then
well, they also know because they pick out the flowers themselves. You know, they
now a lot of cemeteries. I think in New York at least it's illegal to have flowers on a vase. They banned it like a long time ago.
They did it because of the mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes. Yeah. So you can put flowers there.
Yeah.
And you know.
No. You can put it in the water. They remove it the next day.
No, they don't let you.
No, they do.
No, you're doing it. Even though they don't let you.
So again, depends on the cemetery because, for instance, the cemeteries that do, like you say, the park, the cup is inside the base. So a lot of people just leave the flowers on the top because they don't know that. But there's a little thing that when you push, you turn it and it becomes a cup holder. Now you can put your flowers there, but the next day when the people cleaning, they will pick them up, flip it, and put it back again because of the mosquitoes. But the reason why they don't do that is because most people don't know that.
So, some cemeteries even don't let you put flowers. It's because of it went a little over the top, and they will.
I told you, like in Peru, right? In Peru, basically, like I remember because every time I go to Peru, I go to the cemetery to visit the family. And there was before, when you go to the cemetery, there was the entire street with flower vendors, you know. But Peru passed a law years ago that you can no longer because of the mosquitoes. You can no longer leave flowers. So now you can leave the plastic ones, but you cannot leave the real plants because you need water. So now when you go to the cemetery, you might only see one or two people that sell flowers compared to hundreds before. And the only ones that actually do the real flowers are the ones that do it for the people that are getting buried on the spot. Because at that time, you are allowed to take flowers, but the cleaning people take them out at the end and throw them out, But because it's custom to take flowers.
But it's a different, like they don't really put them on the ground in like in Peru, for example.
No, they put them outside.
They have actually they build something like a house.
Yeah.
And inside of the house, they have these holes where the casket goes. It's like
it's like a building. It's a
building, right? It's a building, and then the caskets go like a mausoleum, but for everybody.
Yeah. It's like a building. It's like a building. I mean, you want to be at the bottom because if you're at the top,
it's difficult to put.
It's difficult. We have to get somebody with ladders and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a different. Yeah. But back to the United States. So we understand that this is a and believe it or not, most of the times, what I have noticed is that the person making the decisions to the funeral is not really the person that is the closest.
Of course, they are destroyed.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with it. They actually ask somebody, "Hey, can you please take care of the arrangements?" And that, of course, that person is totally listening one day, but the decision is based. And one of the things that I also have noticed is because the guilt. I think it's guilt. If you ask me, I say it's guilt. That it's like, no, man. I love my whatever. She needs to have the best, most beautiful casket. I wanted the one with the TV because he used to love to watch the games. Like they do all this crazy stuff.
In my family, I don't want to say the name, but I have a cousin, and he's the official speaker
for everybody.
Anybody dies in my family, everybody's crying and desperate.
He's the one right in front.
He just comes and gives the same speech.
He piece of paper out. Wait, who we doing today? Let's scratch a name. No, but there's people that, believe it or not, there's people that can, when situations like this, they're able to do this. There's people that they destroy. They don't even want to think about. They don't want to think about any of this stuff. They're not even thinking about the details because, believe it or not, it is a lot of paperwork. It is a lot of agreements. It is a lot of yes to a lot of things.
Jewish people have a beautiful traditions in that. Not all of them, but like if you go to like a Spanish funeral, right? They are mostly the center is the pain. It's like it's like almost like let's extend the pain as long as we can. Right?
Yeah.
The Jewish is more is like they have these things on their houses. I think they call it. I don't really know. I've been in a couple of them. Basically, you go to the house and they have the photos of the person that died.
But I think the Jewish have this rule that they have to be buried within 24 hours, like right away.
They do it really.
They do it like right away.
They open the house of the person that died to like 7 days. And you go there, and of course I never went. I went like one time. The 7 days is probably just the close family, but you go there and you say hi to everybody, and it's not that much focus on it's focused on the memories more than in the pain.
Yeah, no. In America, at least in America, they wait for the cousins to come from Wisconsin. They wait people to come from Europe. Sometimes the body is sitting in the refrigerator for weeks because they're waiting for everybody to show up.
And it's expensive. If you want to extend it a couple of more days, it's okay, but it's 3,000 more.
But believe it or not, that's why this type of business is only big in the United States. In most countries, they do it right away because, first of all, it's very expensive. Those chemicals are expensive.
And they don't have a refrigeration.
They don't have refrigeration.
For bodies.
Yeah. Some of them do, but what I'm saying is still, because these things are basically based on culture, right? It's tradition and culture on how we do this. The economic factor has become now important because prices have just been insane. That's why a lot of people feel that they take advantage of people in situations like this because really you just touch me. When you think about the entire bill, I mean, a good $10,000 to $15,000 like from one moment to another. And then you try to understand the contract with the cemetery that we were talking earlier. Wait, so you mean that I'm only renting one spot and somebody else could go on top?
But
Because
they never tell them. No, no, no. That, like that, nobody that.
no, 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 no. Listen, legally they have to. People don't understand it at that time. People just wanna listen. Let me just sign. Let's get it over
Of
with.
course, of
And
course.
but legally they have to explain to you how long if you're leasing, you're buying the requirements. Hey, this you only buying this spot for three, but you only buying one spot. So if you want to buy the other two, you could start making payments. Or otherwise we could rent it to somebody else because technically, if that space is started for three bodies and you only buy one, the cemetery has the right to sell the other two.
No, not just that. No, they will actually, like, let's say 15 years has passed, right? And they did told you that you are going to, they sold you the spot, right?
It's just rented. That's one thing that people.
It's
It's always rented.
You cannot buy
cannot
it.
buy it.
It is
You cannot buy it.
impossible.
It's impossible.
Does
Yeah.
no matter. Does no
Yeah.
matter how much money you have.
Yeah, it's rented. It's always rented.
You can say okay, but it's the ultra
Yeah.
purchase.
Like Chinese property. You could think all day long that you're buying it. Just not. It belongs to the government. You're renting it for 500 years, but you're still renting it.
So as I said, they will when pretty much when the cemetery is full, right? Because all of them get full sooner or later. Then they're going to start just looking. Okay, who is the oldest one? Who can we? Can we
Let me ask you
use?
something. How long have you been living in New York City?
I would say like 25 years.
25 years. Okay. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
In 25 years, just guess.
Mhm.
Guess. I mean, just give me an educated guess.
Mhm.
How many people you think have died in New York City in those 25 years?
Let me think. Probably like 18 million.
Okay. Have you ever,
Mhm.
since you've been here,
Mhm.
seen a new grand opening cemetery?
No,
So where they going?
I'm telling you, they have to keep.
Where they going, man? Where
I'm
they going?
explaining it.
Explain it to me.
So one gets full, right?
Yeah.
The owners of the cemetery, they start going into the list of who are the oldest residents, let's call them.
Yeah. Right.
And then they start calling the family, or email or mailing the families, like I don't know, Jonathan. Jonathan is here. We've been planning to move him to another location or whatever it is, right? It's a mass grave, right? Basically.
Yeah. That's what it
They
is.
don't put it. We're going to move it to a mass grave.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
But they say we're going to, because of changes.
Yeah.
That's they call it, like we're modernizing it, and that is going to have to make changes. So we will have to move your loved one
to a mass grave.
They don't call it mass grave.
Yeah, to a place that they just dump the bones.
Yes, and
Yeah,
then
that's what
and
it is.
then it's not like as you said, it's 1, 2, 3. No. It's like
No.
they actually go and take out the body.
No, yeah, but some cemeteries has spots for three.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. You can actually buy. You can actually, if you have your family, you can buy.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I want to buy the entire spot for all us three. And I want to put, me, whoever, I want to put it there.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, when they die, you don't have to. They go straight there.
Yeah, but even them, because
Even then, eventually, they will get moved.
yeah, there's no way. As I said, and don't quote me, none of that. The cemeteries that are owned by the church in the city that are underground, right? Maybe some of them will last longer, but all of them, they have to sooner or later take the space.
After 40, 50 years, nobody remembers you.
Nobody's there.
Nobody remembers you.
I mean, sounds a horrible thing, but
That's the truth.
truth is, like
That's the truth.
Especially if it's like maybe if it's somebody young died, in 40 years, the relative is still there.
Listen. I'm gonna put me on.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna put me on the spot.
Okay.
Like, let's say I died yesterday. I went to today because it might happen. Let's say I died yesterday. Let's say I died yesterday.
Okay.
Within a week, people that they know me, people that like I work with would even talk about me. Within 2-3 weeks, people that just see me once in a while, they will say, "Hey, I haven't seen this guy in a while." In 2 months, the only ones that will remember me are like the very, very close friends of mine. Within a year, somebody might say, "Hey, remember the guy that used to, and then somebody will be like, who are you talking about? You mean the guy? Oh, yeah. It's just a memory.
Of course.
Dying.
Because the memory has to be by the younger people.
Exactly.
Not the same age are gone.
Exactly. So the only, within a few years, the only one that will actually even think of you or look at your picture once in a while has to be someone that is really, really close to you.
Of course.
Really, really close to you. And usually, if we're not talking about like the regular process of life, if you die when you're supposed to die, the same people that look at your picture are right behind you.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's literally, they're just right behind you.
Okay.
The only ones that would actually sometimes, and this is why grandchildren is so important. Because if you don't teach your grandchildren who the family really is, man, you be history before even history class finish. That's the truth. And cemeteries know that. That's why they could resell and sell and resell.
We say it like that, right? And it sounds like we're talking that they are evil or something like that.
No, it's just,
I mean, there is no more. There will not be a space for anybody.
Exactly. If we actually, yeah. I mean,
like you have somebody there that has been there 200 years.
Yeah.
There is nobody there. I mean, like no relatives.
There's no
relatives.
Yeah.
And the space is still there.
Yeah, and now because of the new technology, new way of looking at things, cremation is becoming huge.
Yes. I mean, long time becomes a half of the people.
Yeah.
Now we are in 60% of the people doing it. And in that case, the prices?
For cremation?
Mm-hmm.
I think cremation is like only 2,000.
Yeah.
3,000. It's very cheap. I mean, compared to the whole thing is actually cheaper. Me, believe it or not, since we're talking about, I was always against cremation, at least for me, because at the end, everybody's last wish should be respected. I was always against cremation because I still believe that if you want to be part of life, like if you really want to still be alive, you should go through the process. Let the bugs eat you. The bird's gonna eat the bug. A bigger animal's gonna eat the bird. But you're still part of life.
So you want to be buried?
I'm actually, believe it or not, that was my thought all the time since I can remember. But now I'm actually thinking about it, cremation, because just for the simple fact that I just I don't want to be a bother, like force people to go to a cemetery.
You're so much better person. No, I'm getting buried.
Yeah.
I'm not a piece of furniture to no cremate.
No. I mean, honestly, if I do a cremation, they have to release me. Once they release me, they have to throw me in the forest, or they have to throw me in the sea. And hopefully because that's another way people do it now, because now there's a process that you become fertilizer. And then they throw you in the forest, and then you grow as a tree or something. Yeah, okay. They're making diamonds out of bodies. I mean, this.
Yeah, the cremation. Yeah, they actually do.
They doing some crazy stuff nowadays. They're doing jewelry with the dust. I mean, I wouldn't be honestly. I think, hey, listen, more power to you. I don't
Okay.
want to be carrying
No.
somebody's dead around me. No
I
matter
do
how
not
much
carry.
no matter how much I love somebody, who want to carry somebody dead around me? I
But
mean,
they do that.
they do that
They do
because,
that.
hey, people feel that strong about things. Um, yeah, I'm a 50-50 right now. Before I was 100%. Hey, do the crying, carry my ass, do the whole thing. But now I'm a 50-50 right now. I'm a really 50-50. So I don't know. Um, I don't know. I think I'm going to make my decision soon, like
They get
finalize it.
surprised. I surprise you.
Yeah, it's like you
I
know
get
what?
surprised.
Surprise me. No. I think it's important to let your final because um, just like anything else, it's a big decision, and people should respect it, and you should do what you think is best for you and the full
Of
family
course,
as a
no. Yeah,
whole.
take it
Yeah,
seriously. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah. It's a big
no,
decision, and hopefully people do respect it, and they
because even
do.
on cremation, it's not like there are so many options. Like you can get cremated. I don't know how to say that doesn't sound rude, but let's call it a direct cremation. Basically, they take the body and they cremate it, right? That is like
Yeah,
$2,000,
yeah.
maybe
That's the
fifteen
cheapest.
hundred,
That's the
right?
cheapest way.
But then you can also get let's say prepare for the view, right? For the opening,
Yeah, yeah. This
for the
and
opening
then you get
casket,
cremated, and then you get cremated.
and then you can get cremated with the casket or with no the
Yeah, well, it
casket.
makes no sense, but some people do that.
Of
And
course.
the reason why they do that is because I think by law, I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I heard that a family member has to be present
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, sadly, they find a lot of funeral homes saying that they were cremating bodies, and what they were doing is they were just giving dust and
Like
dirt to
5 years
people.
ago in Jersey, remember the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
case?
There was another one in Georgia and
Yeah,
North
they were
Carolina.
like they were a group of rabbis that were doing in Jersey,
Yeah.
pretty much still in.
Yeah, because if the ovens break down, what they do is that they get dirt and they give it to you. You don't know. You don't know what ashes look like. I mean, at the end, it's just like dust, right? Dirt and
But I
dust.
never heard about the law being changed for that.
You know what? So and again, I heard somebody say that there had to be a witness now. Like somebody had
Of
to be
course,
there
some
to witness
independent.
it. Yeah, to witness it to make
I
sure
do see
that
that,
the body is
especially
going
in
there.
places that these
Yeah,
things has happened.
and some people what they do is they put them in boxes. Like once you see the body, they put them inside the box. That way you don't see the
Of
cremation,
course,
like the
of course.
body getting
Maybe it's like
burned.
maybe not that I'm just guessing. There is some kind of simpler box, maybe
Yeah, yeah, it's like a regular box. It's like
like a regular, more like a traditional. Let's call
yeah,
it.
yeah. That way people because you see the person you
Oh
love
my God!
going into an oven. I
You
mean,
need to go directly to the therapy.
yeah, it's shocking. I mean,
Of
it's
course, that's
really
probably
shocking. So
horrible.
you got that's why cremation. A lot of people cannot take it because they stay in their heads. Wait, you want me to do what? So it's a tradition that's been happening for many years. So yeah, so this is an interesting, very interesting topic. It's a topic that people need to have, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
People need to have. I mean, laughing and joking, but people do need to have. A lot of people, like I have a health will where I actually wrote down. I actually did wrote down my final, and I did want it. I even told you because I had to rewrite it now. Um, in my first will that I wrote when I was like 20 something. That's when I wrote my first will. Because I traveled a lot and I was always at risk of getting hurt. I wrote a will. My first will was that I was supposed to get cremated, and somebody had to take me to Titicaca and dump me there.
I remember this guy that died in Spain and says, if I die in Spain, bury me in Paris. But if I die in Paris, bury me in Spain. Why? Because I want to fuck.
Yeah. Me, because I'm Peruvian. We Peruvians think that
Is this important?
el Imperio Incaico came from.
It would be funny that you ended up in Bolivia.
I know, right? The wind would push me to Bolivia. I'm like, damn it!
Not that Bolivia is nothing wrong with Bolivia.
I know, right? But then I wrote that's still, believe it or not, that's still on my record. Then I wrote another one. I just added that I wanted no help. Like, so if I was no machine can
Like,
keep me
no
alive.
recitation.
Yeah. So now I need to change it because, like I was telling you, now I'm a 50-50. I haven't made my final decision. I'm still thinking about it.
But I would recommend that I don't know, maybe knowing, try not to be a source of pain, but if you can program something, if you can kind of ask around where is the ones, the cemetery that you could go, the funeral homes that people would recommend it. Now that there is that you are knowing that huge emotional storm,
Yeah.
try to do it before.
Try to do it before.
For
And
your
buy-
loved ones.
And people when they're young, even when they're 20, because you should buy burial insurance, which is about only $20,000, but it covers your expenses. At least you're not leaving a headache to somebody. It could happen. This could happen to anybody at any time.
And it happens, as I said, don't ask for packages in the funeral homes, but more like a each item that it will be way better economically. Don't buy the casket in the funeral home. Just go somewhere else to.
The way listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I hate flowers in the funerals because if you really wanted to give somebody a flower, you give it to them when they're alive. Don't give it to them when they're dead. That makes, to me, it makes no sense.
Well, but that's just preference. Other people do.
Yeah, I get it.
There are
And I'm giving you my opinion on this. Spend your money when they're alive, not when they're dead. There's nothing you can do now that they're dead. Now it's too late. Okay, don't get the fancy casket. I mean, if that was the case, you should have bought them a car, so they could be driving comfortable. You could have, buy them some nice comfortable shoes instead of a nice shiny shoes just to sit in lay there in the bed. And the flower part, I mean, hey, listen, people can do whatever they want, but flowers should be for the people that are alive, not when they're dead. Flowers are enjoyable when you're alive. You look at the colors, the smell, how nice they are.
But this moment is when it happens, and sadly it will happen.
Yeah.
It is a moment. It's a terrible moment.
It's a terrible moment. Yeah.
To confront.
And it's a moment that you have to get ready because you don't want to be taken advantage of.
Exactly.
You don't want to be taken advantage of.
Also, and I heard this guy recommended that, and I think it was Jordan Peterson. Well, some guy was saying that if you have somebody that is close to that, you should write now the eulogy. That will save you so much pain after.
Yeah.
But that is also, I don't know how creepy that is.
Well,
but it's another step that you can avoid to.
Yeah, but at the end, we do want to give funeral homes the credit because they do a great service. They do something that most people cannot do. And they have to actually, they're taking a lot of weight from your weight. I mean, they're taking a lot of hit. Believe it or not, what they do, and they do great. I mean, I see some places that they do these beautiful, beautiful things. And you look at the person and you be like, wow. You actually kind of like say, wow, they really did a great job on him or her, They got nice and clean. They look nice. They look peaceful,
No, there are really good services. It looked like we were, putting them down, but it's probably a horrible job to have.
Yeah, it is. I mean, at the
you're
end,
just confronting pain.
Yeah, what you're doing is tough as it is, but at least it is. They're doing it. They're doing a good job. I think they're a little overpriced. That's why you have to make sure that you take care of this in advance. Like you plan this,
if you could,
and you tell people what.
Because a lot of times comes from anything, and like that.
Yeah,
you can even
I mean, you can just listen. That's something that we're talking about funerals, funeral homes, and cemeteries, and the business that they create. It's a booming business. They're making money. So they're not going broke. They're actually making money. We try to explain to you. Hopefully, you stay with us. How they make the money? They're basically recycling the same space, right? Renting it. It's a rental. That's what you're doing. You're just renting the space for the meantime.
And that is okay.
Yeah,
because
it's
there is
okay.
no other
It's
option.
okay. And just to keep remembering that when this happens, they try to sell you the most expensive product.
Yeah,
I mean, just like any other business, right? They sell you the most expensive.
And even you to be
Yeah.
a little prepared. Not totally prepared, because who can?
Yeah.
You know, but try to.
But because you have to
utilize-
remember that even though they're trying to help you, it's a business,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're doing everything in the power to ease your pain that you're going through, but it's still a business, right? It's still a business. So let's keep that in mind. Well, listen, it was great. This is a great. Cause we keep talking about businesses because a lot of people just don't even think about what really happens in a lot of the industries that we're talking about. We talk about Tesla, Walmart. You know, we talk about Brazil. We're talking about all these topics that hopefully you and I in this journey are learning a little bit more. And again, we're not experts at all. We're just running a mouth. I guess we just got nothing to do right now. But you know, we're just running a
But please subscribe.
yeah, subscribe. I don't want to do overtime. Thank you so much. I'm Chris.
Annette.
On guy of being wrong. Thank you.